All right. G'day. Pretty good time to be going live, really, with the market moving quite nicely, coming out of its range. Before I get started, though, just want to double check you can all hear me. So if you can, please type into the chat box that you can hear me. And then I'll know it's ready to go. We are ready to go. Okay, so I'll just give it a minute. Of course, we're now through the 4-part series, the FTX course, and of course this is a scam brought to you by FTX. If you don't already have an account, please click on the description below, and you'll see that you can get 10% off your trading fees there. So that's good for you, and you're very welcome. All right, so as we see people coming in, I will get started in just one moment. All right, so let's have a look. What I normally do, guys, as you're probably aware now after watching through a few of these, I'm sure, is I always start my scans at the top 10. And look, it's to give me a bit of an understanding for what's going on across the market for that given period. The top 10 is where the market's major movements or major market capitalization exists. I think it was about 95 or something percent. And that was sort of the end of last year, or maybe it was the start of this year. I can't remember. It all sort of blends at the moment, I know. But it's the major market movers. And as you can see here, we've only very recently broken up, as witnessed here by the 15-minute chart. Now, what you will see is that it's pretty good timing. Pretty good timing because the market's just started moving, and we were just in a consolidation. Now, a couple of things had occurred. In the last, what time is it? Jeez, it's 3 o'clock. I forgot. Yes, of course. This is when I do these things. Yeah, we've seen the market just sort of kick on, and a couple of moves I was watching for breakouts and whatnot sort of shot off. Now, Bitcoin test 1, test 2, test 3. This is my Bitcoin breakout strategy where I need 3 tests. Not necessarily trade here, but I was very much watching that level, just going, come on. Now, I wasn't going to put a stop down there. Some might have. And you'd have your 1-to-1 reward-risk ratio, which was covered in part 4 of the FTX trading education with Marcel last week. So, where to now? Well, let's just go back and have a look at this daily, because that's where I want to focus the attention just right now. Now, for those of you who are on my email database, you'll have seen a video that I did yesterday if you're a subscriber, or today if you're a free subscriber. Now, I've been talking about the strong trends, which have been Bitcoin, the other one, Ethereum. When you're ready, Ethereum, there we go. Cardano and Ethereum Classic. Very, very strong daily trends. And I like to trade in the direction of the daily trend. That's my biggest, beauty. It's a really good bonus factor to have. Now, I did pull back into that cradle zone on Ethereum Classic, on Cardano, on Ethereum, and of course, just a bit higher on Bitcoin, but got close. And now, off we go. So I was hoping to see it pull back in, about 8,100, in with that 50, small bullish candle, looking for the cradle that you know. But I've had to wait, because look what happened. Sure, it pulled in, but it happened too quickly. There was nothing for me to work with. And that's hence why I've gone to these lower time frames to keep an eye on things and look for my trading opportunities. Now, as Bitcoin starts to run off like a mad dog, am I happy? Yeah, but I'd be much happier if I had a trade on right now. Last week was a good week. Looking at what we have, Binance, profit. There was also Litecoin, good little profit there. And Tezos from a couple of weeks ago, for which I put a watch list video up. So it's a good week. I'm just itching because these markets are looking at you, little ripper at the moment. They're looking fantastic, and I want to get some more. Now, something that you might not be aware of if you haven't done my courses is my Fibonacci booster, and it's not there yet. And I'm going to get rid of that because Bitcoin seems to be off on a bit of a tear. Nice to see it's back above 9,000 once again. And what I want to do now is I want to go ahead and hit up the list That is the FTX margin list. So Bitcoin right now, nothing much to work with. If I get some better cyclicity, and what do I mean by cyclicity? Well, now we've got a higher low and a higher high. If we start to see that bounce, like follow the bouncing ball, like higher lows, higher highs, that sort of thing, I can look for cradles on these lower time frames. But right now, because it's just sort of, the cat's out of the bag, it's just jumped out. Boof. I am waiting for a bit of a pullback now. 9,000 would be the level. You know what I mean? Like, that's a nice solid round number. Does it coincide with anything? Not at this stage. So nothing there right now. Let's throw that up on the 2 hour because I want us to be following these uptrends on the 2 and the daily. Clear, nice, precise, clean price action. Ethereum here, let's just jump out. Boom, boom, boom. Now I am going to flip around a little bit quickly because that's how I scan. I'm looking for support and resistance. I'm looking for anything to trade off of. Nothing there. That cyclicity starting to come good. Hop out of Ethereum onto Cardano. Let's have a little look down here. Boom. Here was the other level that I was keeping an eye on, but it just ticked. It didn't do enough for me really to get too involved. Now, this is going to be tight. Again, for those who've done the courses, you'll know what the Fibonacci booster is. And you'll know what I'm lining up here. Oh, okay. I'm going to leave that in the list. It's not there yet. It's not something that I'm overly confident on. Yeah, what's that? 61.8. Can't get it just yet. I'm going to jump out of that. I'm going to leave it in the list because it is a nice little trend. I'm just going to get rid of that fib. It's a good trend. It is moving. Bitcoin moving well right now as well. Okay, let's go back to that 15. Keep moving. Algoland, a bit messy up here. Not something I'm too interested in. Altcoin perp. Let's jump out of here quickly. Another one that you can see retested that old resistance. Now that's a fact that you've learned through that course that I presented with FTX. Old support becoming new. Old resistance becoming new support. Bit of a bounce there. It's starting to get a little bit excited, isn't it? Am I going to be concerned about that level? Yeah, I'll leave it in. There's nothing much to work with there. Atom. Don't like Atom at the moment. Bit spiky, bit all over the shop. Not the greatest of trends there. Bitcoin Cash. Yeah, I thought it might be running. Look at this level through here. What do we got? Old support. Bang, bang, bang. That goes back a little bit, I suspect. I think it's easier to see on the 4 hour, to be honest with you. There you go. Resistance. Bang, bang, bang. Boof. Breakout. Retest bounce. We're through that. Why bother trading alts at all when they're all correlated to Bitcoin and you can just leverage? Because that's not how I trade, Andrew. I trade what I see. I trade a checklist-based trading system. Just because Bitcoin goes up doesn't mean the rest of them goes up. Just because Bitcoin goes sideways doesn't mean the rest of them goes sideways. Prime example was last week. I was long Binance, I was long Tezos, and both were making money long before Bitcoin had its move. Okay? So yeah, there's a reason for it. It's about finding the best trades out there, you know. Jared, if stalking a trade, waiting for the entry candle to close, but not around when the trade triggers, and by the time you get the trade, it's now below entry, would you take it at a lower entry? No. I get filled on orders. So if there's a trade there and it's valid, and of course with FTX, I am able to have an entry order and a stop loss order with my retry and what's it called? Let me have a look at here. It's called reduce only. With that, I'm able to raise the order. I feel pretty confident, and that makes a big difference to me. So I'll do that. That's what I would go ahead and do. You can also put your target one in as well. Nathan, just wanted to pop in and say hi before I head to a meeting. No worries, Nathan. No dramas, mate. Hope the meeting goes well. So Bitcoin Cash, that is the level we're looking at. Am I going to... I mean, I've got to be realistic here. Would I be keen on that? My answer is no, so it's not going in my list. We are getting a little bit of momentum starting to come back, but look, it's not the best daily chart. Binance, again, pull back in, having a little bit of a move at the minute. It's been pretty placid, you know. Like the trade I caught last week was one that I haven't taught in the FTX course. It's the Bitcoin breakout. Breaking out above this sort of level. I was long on this candle. Had to take a little bit of heat for a while, to be fair, and I got out up here. So I was a good 1 and a bit to one, so I doubled my money in a little bit. Not a massive profit, but we'll take it. Right now, though, I mean, is there anything there? No, not right now. BSV, it's moving, but it's pretty haggard on the daily. I don't like these charts. You compare that to Bitcoin's chart. Look at this. Beautiful trend, really nice cyclicity, and then look at this. It's like it's like your old lawnmower that you need to pull the choke out. It doesn't just start every time. You got to put the petrol in, a bit of oil. Get it pull, and then sure, it still works, but it doesn't work all that well. And if I had the money, I'd buy a new one. That's what that looks like to me. Bitmax. I don't like the choppiness or the nature of this chart at all, in the lower time frames especially. Very spiky. That's what I'm talking about when I look for a clean, smooth flowing chart. I don't want erratic price action. I want smooth price action so I can decipher the moves a lot easier. Oh, it looks like I might have missed an opportunity here. Let me come to the 2. That's where I want to be. Yeah, okay. Let's go. I'm going to go to the 15 here. And I may have missed this. It looks as though I might have. Test 1, test 2, test 3. My question to me, would be where would my stop go? And if I was feeling pretty bloody bullish, I can't say what I would have done. I can only talk about what I did do. And I did not take this trade. Would I have taken a stop there? It's pretty unrealistic for me to say yes. It's a very tight stop. If I had geez, I would have, I'd be up about 5-1 now. But for me, it's not all that great. Yeah, Andrew, I'll talk about the halvening. I'll just touch on it now, mate. So your question, fundamentally, FOMO action could happen. Is this the time to take a position and hodl? The choppiness is shaking out good positions. I haven't seen choppiness though, mate. It depends what time frames you're trading and how you're trading, I suppose. I mean, if you look at Bitcoin, for example, if you're trading down these low time frames, okay, yeah, there can be chop, but I'm sort of focusing on all the mids to higher time frames, and I'm waiting for all that momentum to come together. It was choppy through here, so I didn't do anything. When it did break, there was options. At the moment, I'm just waiting. Sure, there could be some FOMO buying. I'm not expecting it. Because I don't expect anything from markets. I just trade what I see. So I try not to overcomplicate that. The halvening being 6 days and 16 hours or something, 20 hours away. I know there's been a lot of talk in the past about it. I've covered it quite a lot on this YouTube channel, but also quite a lot on my podcast, the Trader Craig Crypto Show. And markets evolve. They change. Just because something happened in 2016 and 13 or whatever the other date was, it doesn't guarantee that it's going to happen again. Now, I'm not discounting the power of the halvening. Of course, it makes supply and demand come into that conversation even more. But I won't be taking any positions based on the halvening. What I can say is that when people talk of the halvening, they do talk of more bullish Bitcoin sentiment for obvious reasons. It's the past, and it makes logical sense, right? But what I'm looking at is that we've got an uptrend. So my allegiance to my trading will be looking for uptrends, because I'll be trading in the direction of that trend. And the direction of that trend also goes with the theories that are being presented by that halvening and further bigger moves. So it works really well at the moment because I've got an uptrend and I've got that that theory around further upside potential with Bitcoin's halvening. What happens when you hit 1-to-1 but don't adjust stop loss? Well, if you're risking $100 and you hit 1-to-1, you lock in $50 and you've got $50 of risk on the open position still. So you've profited $50 on the first half. You've got $50 still at risk on the other half. If you get stopped out, you lose nothing. That's the point of it. You can adjust your stops based on the chart, and based on the trend. If you're in an uptrend, higher lows on the time frame you've traded is the better option, or the option that I certainly follow myself. Okay, let's look through here. 15 minutes. Nothing on Dragon. Nothing on it. Just give me 1 second, guys. I just need to. My kids are making an absolute racket. Just got to tell the missus to shut them up a little bit. Can you hear it? All right. Just say, can you hear any noise in the background? Because they've just gone absolutely burko. Oh, I can't wait to get my office back. Not this office, because this is my now home office. I'm in a real office. That's what I'm looking for. You can't hear anything? Okay, cool. I'll just carry on then. Goody, goody. Good, 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 good. All right. Sorry, I just want to make sure that you weren't hearing all the pleasantries in the background. EOS, let's go to the 2 hour here. Of course, it's a bit choppy. Not a huge fan of that. How much leverage? Well, the thing is, it kind of decides for you. With FTX, you put in how much you want to risk on the trade. Now, there's a video as well in the description here in this video, in this live. Watch that. That'll show you the risk calculator. We've got one inside of the members area on the Trader Cobb education site, but FTX have also got one. So, if you're a bit unsure, use theirs and just have a look at that video as to walk through, because they've done a pretty good job, a very good job. It's about how much you're risking on the trade. It will often choose your leverage. I've got it set up at 101 plus. I'm just used to clicking that button, but I don't think it makes too much of a difference what you select. You might have to go down to get different perp contracts have different maximum size amounts. So you get used to it. Typically, you're not going to have too many problems. You won't, unless you're trying to trade well too big for the size of your account, which is not a good idea anyway. Okay, so back to Ethereum Classic. Nice trend here. Big rejection. This, Ethereum Classic, it looks really strong, guys. Check it out in the weekly. Very good week last week, of course. 15 or call it 16. Is there anything for me now? Not here. Let's go lower to the 15. Okay, good. Let's just do this. Here's a boost that might come in. Now, if you don't know what this is, don't try and work it out. I'm just using the fibs. For those that do know, we're looking at the nice little booster here, guys. Let's check the 30 conversion as well. That high to that high. Yes, we're good. 1 hour here. Yes, we're good. 15, you little ripper. I'll keep that in there. On FTX, you pay more in fees to have greater than 20 times leverage. There you go. Bobby's just put that up there for all to know. My issue, or the way I trade is really, really simple. Like, obviously, literal checklist, complete structure of everything. But also, importantly, I just keep things really simple. I do calculate the fees, of course, when I'm doing, when I do my checkbacks from the trades. But it's not a bit, like, to me, the power of this market, it is more expensive to trade crypto than it is to trade like for foreign exchange, for example. But the volatility here, guys, I mean, it's the cost of doing business. The volatility is just insane. That's the reason I'm not trading FX. It's the reason I'm not trading index markets, bonds, stocks. Why? Sure, they're cheaper, but so is a Datsun to a Ferrari. Once you I was going to use a very wrong analogy there, but once you try the Ferrari, you don't want to go back to driving the Datsun or the Mini Moke. Mind you, the Mini Moke's pretty cool. You get my point? Like, I don't mind paying a bit more because I'm getting a bit more. So I don't mind it at all. I think it's good. And look, they're pretty low. As far as exchange fees go, I got no issue on this with FTX. And if you are using the code that I've got in the description below, you're also getting 10% off your trading fees to help you out there. So I don't see a problem with that. Personally, but everyone's got to make their own choices. Easy on the Dado. Oh, look, got to be honest, there's nothing wrong with a Dado, but a Moki's better, in my opinion. I'm a Noosa boy. What do you think I'm going to say? Exchange token, I'm not digging that chart right there. Horby, again, look at this rejection of the old resistance. 1, 2, bang, above, retest. Want to see a break of that? I want to see this cyclicity here on the daily. For a lot of these, it's the first pullback after the break. I want to see a bit more confirmation buy, a bit more push through is what I'm really after. What do you think of this chart? I think it's crap, and I know it's crap, and I'm moving on. Link's gone quiet. Look at this. Bit squiggly, yada, 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 yada. Don't like that chart. It's too all over the shop. Compare that now with Leticia Perp. Litecoin Perp. I was pretty keen on this morning. I'm not so keen on it now. Why? Broke through a little bit. It's lost a bit of momentum there on that break. I'm happy to I'm happy to even take that out of my list now. It's not one that I'm really digging. Matic still got to work itself out. Once again, coming back and retesting an old level. That level, I'm actually going to get rid of that now. I don't see it as being valuable at the moment. It's not been respected for quite some time now. The daily, although trending quite nicely, have a look at how it's just become a little bit messy. The 15, that is. Let's look at the 4. Probably doesn't look so bad, but I want to see it push on, break to a new high. Mid-perp. Let's go back to the 15, a flat level possibly in through there. Again, no, not too keen on that at the moment. Just doesn't have that cyclicity. Bit of divergence down there, or flat to divergence. I've definitely seen better charts. Ethereum Classic being a prime example. Ooh, what's this look like on the 12? See, this is the sort of thing I'm looking for. The issue that I had here. Now, you know what the cradle trade is. You've been through the education. If this had just gone, from here back, without this lower high, that would be a trade I'd be filled in right now. Okay? But it did do that. It did set that lower high. So I did not raise an order, and I am not long. That doesn't mean there's not opportunities, because look at this trend. It's not bad, right? It's pulling back into the cradle. It's acting as a good trend should act. So let's go lower and check this out. Let's see what we got here, if anything. No, again, more cyclicity to come. I might do a scan again a bit later today, just because we are seeing a bit of push through now. Oh, quick question by Aaron. How do you track your trade when using leverage with Matt's calculator, as it only has your total trade account, not what you would leverage your order at? Well, you just change the amount. So if you're trading on $50,000 US as an example, or let's say you've got a full portfolio of $50,000, but you want to be risking 1% of $25,000, put $25,000 in the little risk calculator there. Then it will spit out for you the number you choose to have. You just got to change that one thing, and it will kick that out for you. Not what you would leverage your order. Yeah, that's it only has your total. I think I've answered that. I mean, I've answered it the way that you do it. I don't know if I've answered the question the way you were asking it. Let me know. Shit perp, no, not interested in that. Tomo. No, a bit choppy up there, a little bit all over the shop there. Not a huge fan, right? The Tron. Now, this pushing up against resistance right here. Check that out. Looking quite good, The issue we've got is that, look at this 4. It's very choppy on this 4, but you can see if we push above there, there's not much in the way. We could see a stellar run here on Tron. Let's jump back to that 4 and then back to that daily and see if there's anything in the way. Does the cradle work for shorts? Everything would be in reverse, I assume. Absolutely. It's a very robust strategy that you can use on any market, crypto market, any time frame as well. There's not too much in the way of anything too concerning up ahead. Look, if Tron does push through that resistance, I'll tell you what. There's nothing stopping it. Nothing major stopping it. It looks really strong there. XRP coming back to here. Not the daily that I would trade off of as far as on a daily time frame. Why do I always say Tomo like that? I do it on my morning scans every day. I've got a weird... I've got names for some of these. Like Tomo is a painter. I don't know why. I do not know why. I just try and make something that can be quite boring a little bit more interesting, and that's a little bit of my personality rubbing off, I guess. Another breakout here on XRP. Didn't catch this, but I will look at the potential. I don't think we'll get... No, I'm going to hold back on that. A little cradle offer here might be worthwhile. A few more questions. Aaron, the leverage is a relevant track in terms of the amount you risked. Exactly. FTX uses cross leverage, Aaron, so you only have to set the max leverage you require, and it will only use your balance as collateral and only leverage your position to a max of what you set. Thank you for these brilliant answers that are better than mine. How do you sleep at night holding a Tron trade? I sleep at night holding any trade because I don't care what the project is. I just trade charts. Yeah, good old Tomo. I'm a weirdo, all right? I'll embrace the weirdness. XRP, look, it's in the list for a reason. If I got to pull back into this area here, or if it continues with that cyclicity, I'm down. Just to conclude as well on the trade By the way, I think a bunch of you guys got this, right? The little cradle back here. I ended up getting taken out up here. I moved my stop up quite tight. Now, many of you might not be. You might have left your stop there, in which case you're still long. Woo! It's looking quite good. It was a nice profit, right? A couple of weeks back now, that was set up. Took that trade. I did get this out as an alert for y'all to make your own decisions, and it's kind of gone pretty well. Nothing right now. Let me just get those out of the way because they're no longer relevant. Jump away, do. Bit of perspective. If it keeps doing that and it bounces from here, yeah, I'll be keen. But it's got to get out of that little consolidation. It's got to get that cyclicity looking better. Privacy. Starting with the daily. Bit choppy, bit stuck. That will be shown here on the 4 hour. As you can see, I'm not a real fan of that at the minute. And we're back to Bitcoin. Okay. So, let's just double back and look at this list. Not a lot in it, which is fine. Not a lot is fine. It just means we've got focus and there's not too much to do. Focusing mostly on these lower time frames here, guys. Keeping an eye on pullbacks. Now, if I do get a little cradle back in on that there level, might be keen. XRP, same sort of thing. Probably more so on the 15, to be fair. A little cradle in there might be worth a little stab. Cardano, look, it's got more work to do. I'm actually going to take that out. I was watching this on that level. That can go sweet. Good nights. Ethereum Classic. That's one that I think I'm going to have to do something about when I get out of here. So those that have been through this particular education program will know what that is. And those that haven't, guys, you've got 40% off right now on our courses, tradercobb.com/join. That is that. Last chance at that too. We'll be cutting that off on Thursday. I know plenty of people were asking in the course throughout the survey period. If you would like to join, please do. Don't forget below, if you haven't got an account and you want one, use that link. You get a 10% discount. Helps us out too. And finally, watch that video below. I will be getting some more videos out. It'll be around when I see actual trades setting up. I want to do videos to show you how to raise orders, how to risk manage with the FTX platform and all the ins and outs of that. The reason I like to do it with a live chart is because it's real. I want to show you the process that I'm going through when I actually do it, the thought process, what you need to do, and how you don't actually need to rush. There's no need to panic. So I've got one there already. I'm going to get a few more up so we can have some other options for orders as well. And I'm just trying to improve on things always, make them better for you guys so you get it. Okay, let's have a look. Anything else? You might get 9 grand here. It's not just 9 grand that I'm after. I need to have a trading setup there as well. So there's nothing there at the moment. There you go. Had a mate in high school named Tomo. He drove a 308 Tirana. There you go. Was he a painter by any chance? Probably more a mechanic if he's driving a Tirana. It's just a bit of humour. I love it. I do love what I do, guys. I've done it for a long time. And look, if you don't make it enjoyable, you do go a bit batshit. You're working from 3 strategies for over a decade. I'm just ticking boxes the same as you. That's all I'm doing. I've just got good at it. It's just what it is. All right, guys. I shall leave you to it. Stay here, subscribed. Stay with notifications on. Get your account. Watch that video. And make sure you keep an eye on what's coming, because I'm talking with the legend team at FTX, which obviously this is brought to you by, about what we're doing next and how we're going to do that and how you can access that content for those that have not had the chance to in the 4-part series. I got to go because it looks like I've got an order to raise, guys. Take it easy. Have a great day. Bye. How do I